Antigone is a 3,000-year-old play. The show really explores what happens when two immovable forces collide. And it's something that I think, we see more and more in our modern political world. So even though the show is thousands of years old, it still feels incredibly immediate.
Creon has a very black and white view of the world. He almost refuses to see the gray in any scenario, I would say, and seems to be very much driven by his emotions and his fears and his anxieties. And I believe that ends up what is his downfall in the end.
I think Antigone is that girl. I think that she's strong. I think that she's independent. More importantly, I think that she's sacrificial. She just believes that she's going to stand 10 toes down on what she thinks with her faith and her family, no matter what.
In many adaptations, one character is clearly the protagonist and one is clearly the antagonist. And I feel that this playwright realizes that it's a heck of a lot more interesting to humanize people, and from every character's point of view, they are the protagonist in their own story.
So my character is Ismene, Antigone's younger sister. Antigone and Creon, the main characters, are kind of on opposite spectrums of this black and white thinking, and Ismene is kind of a gray area in which she understands that what Antigone is doing is correct and the right thing to do. She also understands that she has to follow the law.
My character is Tiresias. I play the blind prophet, and Tiresias has been here throughout the Oedipus trilogy, so he's seen this happen once before and he wants to prevent it from happening again.
I am the assistant director of Antigone. I am the second set of eyes for our director, Patrick Pearson, and I oversee the rehearsals a little bit. I give my input and I present ideas when I see fit. In this production, we're not using masks like we would in ancient theater. Time period will be more modern. In all aspects of design, we have that modern approach outside of the traditional Greek influences.
There is a 12-person chorus in the show, and for the majority of the show, they never leave the stage. A big thing that we're all hyper aware of right now in our world is that we're plugged in on social media, etc., things like that, and so someone's always listening in, someone's always paying attention, and who you thought might be your friend might be your foe the next day. And so that's something that we've really worked to play around with the chorus.
I want the audience to realize that classical texts are still relevant today. Just because it was written a long time ago doesn't mean it is archaic and old, and it is still relevant to today's society.
So I want the audience to realize that revolution and change can't happen unless we look at perspectives outside of our own.
Everything that can be taken and applied to today's world. And I really hope that's sort of what audiences sort of feel, is that this isn't us telling a story about ancient Thebes. It is reflective of partly of the world that we live in today.
Honestly, I want them to think about their family. I want them to think about the people around them that they love, that they adore. With change comes sometimes dangers, but in order to get change, you have to take risks, no matter what those risks are.
After watching Antigone, I want the audience to walk away with a sense of power, a sense of hope, and the recognition that a need for change or changes will always be present.
I hope that the audience walks out realizing that there can be real catastrophic consequences when neither side yields about anything. Sometimes we have to yield, and we need to, and that's the way that dialogue, discussion, that change will actually happen.